I mean, just increasing oxygen levels in the
Right, that's why
body.
exercise is so good for you, because it oxygenates your tissues.
And
And that's why they're gonna
cancer
prove
needs
as time goes on, that people who exercise do get less cancer than the others. But that would be the reason why, as well as the heat being generated by the exercise, because the heat will kill cancer cells. My teacher said the heart's because the friction of the heart beating all the time produces
Cancer
heat,
hates
and it's like a bug light. When the bug hits
It dies.
and that's why you rarely get. There's very few cancers of the heart.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
I never thought of
I
that.
know that's what happens when you go to good schools and learn from smart people.
And then, you know, sometimes, like, you know, people with like shoulder or knee issues, acupuncture.
Oh, blood pressure. We didn't talk about blood pressure. Real
Let's
quick.
go back to that.
Blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure, the traditional Chinese answer
Right.
to that is you have either a gallstone or a kidney stone, and the body's trying to increase the pressure to push the stone out.
Wow.
So the first thing that needs to be done if you have high blood pressure is check for kidney stones and gallstones. And if you have signs of that, clear that out first, and then take the next steps for the high blood pressure.
Because that's the number one surgery right now is gallbladder surgery.
Oh, that's right.
So, I mean, is there, you know, I'm sure acupuncture and herbs, they can
There's
do
nothing better
first.
for the liver than Chinese medicine. If you go and look at people who have hepatitis, they know. They go to Chinese herbalists to maintain. As a matter of fact, the dean of my school was a lab tech, and she got stabbed, got hepatitis C in the lab.
Wow.
But she didn't take interferon or anything. She controlled her liver condition with Chinese herbs. I graduated, she was probably in her 40s when I graduated in 2001. She's still practicing, doing fine without taking American drugs for her hepatitis. The Chinese herbs are soothing, healing. As a matter of fact, the Japanese are making a hepatitis C drug with an herb called blue plum. That's one of the major herbs we use for the liver. So I mean, you'll be hearing about this in Asia. You won't hear it in the United States.
No.
But what's going to happen is, like we buy everything from Asia now, the Walmart, we're going to be buying all our drugs from Asia very soon.
They're going to be
Very
manufactured. Okay.
Oh yeah, because in India and in China, they are seriously studying these old herbal traditions to see what's in it. We're doing it in America kind of clandestinely, in
Right.
a small way. They're doing it in a huge way because they know that market wants
Wow.
natural
That's natural.
medicine that will work.
Now, the reason people have less side effects with natural remedies versus drugs is just because it's synthetic.
It's a law. It's a simple law that a naturopath told me many years ago. If you concentrate something, you concentrate the side effects. So the idea is to have a raw herb. Even the herbs will cause side effects if you keep concentrating and concentrating. And as a matter of fact, if you're taking soy isolate right now for your PMS problems, you're increasing the risk of cancer. Because these isolate, I know a lady who's gotten it, who'd been in the health food store 40 years. The
No,
only thing she
soy,
did was
like-
that changed, and she got cancer.
Is that like tofu or this type of soy?
You know, they say soy's not so good for you, but basically it's not that bad for you, but it's the isolates. When you start eliminating things and getting concentrated, that's when you start isolating the poisons as well as the other stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's always better to take a natural product for that reason. It's safer. As a matter of fact, the safest thing you can possibly take is an herbal tea, more than a tincture or anything else. And the reason why, in 2 hours, the thing's halfway out of your system. The LD50, in other words, you clear half of that of the herbs out of your system in 2 hours. So if you're a little upset, in 2 hours it's gone. You can't say that about if you're taking powders.
If you're eating,
Powders, they stay much longer, so the side effects will.
Wow.
So herbal tea is the safest thing you can possibly take. Not only that, most of the toxins that are associated with natural products are alcohol soluble, fat soluble, not water soluble.
So that's why a lot of Chinese, they do a lot of
It's all
teas.
teas.
It's all teas.
That's the gold standard.
It's
All the
teas.
other stuff, and all the other stuff is it's just to make it more palatable. But the Chinese doctors give their families teas because we know it works better and it's safer. And cheaper.
It's cheaper. And tell the story about the emperor too.
Oh yeah, my teacher used to always say to us in class, he says, our medicine is good, and our medicine is good because it's good quality control. Because if the doctor didn't heal the emperor, to the doctor. So as a result, if we did that in America, we'd have excellent medical care. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Well, thanks a lot, Doc. I'm sure we'll talk a lot more. I
Thank
really
you, Doc.
appreciate you joining us in the office because I think there's a lot of patients that really need some good
And
advice.
by the way, everybody, thanks for listening.
Yeah.